Dear brothers and sisters, we are on day 4 of our spiritual exercises of St. Ignatius for Lent. We've arrived to what he calls exercises of the punishment of sin. The first is reflecting on the sin punished in the rebel angels. And he asks God in this that we can also ask for the grace to devote to his glory and service all the powers and operations of our soul. As a specific grace, we can say, Lord, please help me during this time of prayer as we make our points tonight to pray about tomorrow. And he calls 2 preludes at the beginning, kind of preparatory, representing to ourselves the flames of hell, he says, in the midst of the flames, an innumerable multitude of fallen angels. Very scary sight, but a real one. And the second prelude is to ask God for these sentiments, feelings of shame and repentance at the sight of these victims of sin. The angels only sin once, and how often have we possibly in mortal sin? And so we want to enter into this difficult but very real and sobering meditation. First, he says to consider how the angels were before their sin, the state of the rebel angels before. And he has various thoughts on this that we can maybe take to our prayer. The excellence of their being. They were pure spirits. They were free from the bonds of a mortal body, living images of the perfections of God. He says their intelligence we could think about, pray over, that they had lights respecting God's by their own dignity. Their will, what innocence, what uprightness, to have a natural movement of their heart towards God. He calls on our thinking of their dwelling place in heaven, that they, where they do not yet see the Lord face to face, but where their life is to think of him and to love him. And their future destiny, a few moments of trial, God reveals himself to their eyes without a cloud. They will be through all eternity at the foot of his throne in happiness forever. And their chief was Lucifer, the prince of the celestial hierarchy, whose perfections are described by Ezekiel. And this is one of our scriptures, Ezekiel 28, verse 12 to 15. And so this helps call to mind who these great creatures are. The second consideration is their sin, right? They rebel. And they revolt first against God. And so St. Bonaventure says that they started to become dazzled by their own perfections. It's kind of like they're looking in the mirror and just like someone at the gym looking how huge they are. Or St. Thomas says they had some revelation of the future grandeur of the incarnation, that God would become man and they would be commanded to adore him. And they said, no. Lucifer said, I will not serve. And Isaiah 14, verse 13 and 14 is a great meditation of how Isaiah says, thou said in thy heart, I will ascend to heaven. I will exalt my throne above the stars of God. I will be like to the Most High. So we consider that they revolted against God. They committed a sin in heaven. They committed a sin against the great lights. And they committed a sin after they had all these benefits from God. We want to think about that. Lastly, the consideration is the chastisement of the rebel angels, right? They have a terrible fall. It says in the scriptures, Isaiah 14:12 and Zechariah 11:20, that they had a horrible, horrible fall. O Lucifer, O my soul, tremble for thyself. If an angel so treated, what would it be for a man? And so we reflect on this vengeance of God for the angels. And at the end, we have our affections, Ignatius says, to put at the foot of the cross our feelings of humility, confession, and repentance. And to beg the Lord to help us in a conversation with Jesus, that we would, again, bring everything to him, fall before him, fly to God who comes to seek me, and to yet who have sinned against God, but yet he died to save me. So talk to him about that. Pray the Our Father at the end, Ignatius encourages. May God bless you on this day for contemplating the sin of the fall of the rebel angels.